Welcome to a video which is a reboot of an old project from 2015. You may remember that in December, 15th of December 2015, the British astronaut Tim Peake left the UK and went up to the International Space Station for about 6 months or so. And Raspberry Pi Foundation, a couple of months before, launched a piece of hardware called the Astro Pi. The Astro Pi now was developed into the Sense app, which you may have used. As part of the hardware launch, there was also a competition which was open to school students and colleges, inviting them to write a code that Tim Peake could use on the International Space Station. And I was fortunate enough to be in one of the winning groups, and the students at my school wrote a program that identified the location of the ISS in orbit around the Earth, and then it returned a flag for the country that it was flying over, and it also returned a greeting. So if it was over Spain, it would say hola, Tim, and if it was over England, it would say hello, and if it was over France, it would say bonjour. Because the ISS spends time over the oceans, we decided to add, or the students decided to add a bit more content. So whilst the Astro Pi was searching for the location of the ISS, it returned the temperature and the current room that it was stored in, and it also returned the air pressure, so that Tim or any of the other astronauts could check the current pressure and the current temperature. So I'll show you a little bit later on how it works, but what I want to do is obviously boot it up and show you the actual Raspberry Pi in action. So I'm going to run the module. Apologies first of all for the flicker, because obviously LEDs are quite notoriously difficult to film. So the first thing, it gives you a countdown, and then we're off. So this is going to give the temperature. And then it's searching to see where the location of the ISS is. And then gives you the air pressure. Now, according to the online ISS tracker, we're approximately maybe 3 or 4 minutes away from from South America, so we should be heading over South America soon, and then we can actually see the Astro Pi respond. The students that won the competition were actually fortunate enough to go down to the launch in London, and we watched it at the London Natural Sciences Museum, and we also got to meet Tim Peake at York University, and the students asked him a couple of questions and asked him what he thought of the project, and he said that the animations were actually really nice, because often the crewmates would go into the capsule area where the Astro Pi was being held, and obviously if they were over water, then they'd get this animation, and he said it used to light up the room or light up the capsule, and it was quite nice. It's difficult to see obviously here, but this is kind of various blues and greens flashing, and yeah, it was quite nice to actually hear a personal anecdote from Tim. So at the moment this is giving the pressure where I am. I'm in North Yorkshire, and it's also giving the temperature. It's got pressure sensors, thermometers built into the Astro Pi, and obviously if this was on the ISS, it would be giving the temperature reading for the ISS. So I'm going to pause the video a bit now, and then we'll come back and in a couple of minutes and see where we are. Should be over Mexico kind of area, and we'll see the response that the Astro Pi gives. Today then is the 25th of October 2020, and it is approximately 12:34. So if you want to check the accuracy of the readings in a minute, you can do. Just checking on the online ISS tracker, should be approaching the United States kind of San Francisco area shortly. You can't see that, but if you're online, you can obviously double check that. What we're hoping we should get now is some kind of indication that the ISS is over the United States. And obviously this depends on when the program checks, because if it finds it now, then it will respond. If not, then we'll have to wait another iteration of the program code running. No, it hasn't found it yet. And obviously when you've seen it in action, I'll then show you the TLE file, which is what enables this to work. And it doesn't require any internet connection. It's standalone. You just use this TLE file and then the program code, which I'll show you later, to plot the location. Remember, this is from 2015, so it's 5 years old. There we go. You can't really see that very well, but that is a flag of the United States of America. Let's go back a bit. It says, "What up, bro?" This is obviously what the students thought Americans would be saying. You can just probably make out flag there. And if I show you here on the screen, we are currently just coming over United States. It's quite difficult to film the LEDs. That was one of the issues I remember when we were creating this and sending it off, trying to show the LEDs. The cameras are too good these days, and obviously you get a lot of flicker. Just going to see if this will make any difference. No, still horrendous flicker there. It's a shame, because obviously it's a quite nice flag, but I might be able to take a picture. So this is showing flag for the United States. Obviously it's not flickering, this is just on here. And as you saw earlier, ISS is just going over the United States, so still working. What you're probably interested in is the code. This is running all on Python, and basically what it uses is something called a TLE file, which is a 2-line element file, and you can see it there at the top. TLE files give the positions of various satellites, including the ISS, in the orbit in space, and from this you can then plot and extract the location. So what happens is it uses this information here, which is updated today. Obviously the ISS moves, loses its orbit. It doesn't stay in a constant orbit. It has to divert slightly, sometimes has to avoid space debris, etc. So the orbit changes ever so slightly, and the TLE file gets updated, and then obviously plots the information. Then what happens, this is then extrapolated down into the extrapolated down into a longitude and latitude position. And then what the students did was, for each longitude and latitude, they worked out if it was in a certain set of values, then it was over a certain country. So this is the longitude and latitude of France, and we've got a French flag here, and then we've got a message saying "Bonjour, Tim." Now each of the students wrote between them 80 flags, 80 countries, 80 responses. So this covers most of the major countries throughout the world, which is quite nice. Each response is in their own language, which the students had good fun trying to translate and work out, which was really good. If you want to find more about TLE files, I recommend that you probably go to this website, which is called ARIS, and on there is the updated information. This is from the 25th at 12 o'clock today. Okay, so this is the latest update for the TLE files for the information, which is then obviously in the program code. So the plan is, now that I know it works after 5 years, is to update it. It's running on Python 2 and it's running on a Raspberry Pi 2 as well. So it'll be quite nice to update it for SenseHat and try it out on the Raspberry Pi 4. Okay, let's see if we can try and get a better image of these flags. So I was going to check online and see where the current location is. Still over the United States. We're going to move into probably Canada in maybe about 5 or 10 minutes, so it's going to remain there. So thanks for watching. If you've enjoyed it, obviously don't forget to like and subscribe. Check out the other videos to do with Astro Pi that the students put together. And if you're interested in the code, get in touch. Or if you have any questions, let me know. Thanks for your time. Thanks for watching.